I'm going to be giving a top 5 list for best backup guns. This is going to be more bug out prepper minded. Anybody that you talk to who's an instructor, usually they will say that having one gun on you for concealed carry would just maybe at the absolute most, and it goes both ways. It depends on the instructor, but usually they say just have one gun with possibly one extra magazine, and that's it. So check your laws. This is really bug out stuff that I'm talking about here. And here's the list. The first option out there that I would recommend, in my opinion on all these, is a subcompact version of your primary carry gun. So for instance, if you carry a Glock 17, you would then have a backup gun, which would be a Glock 26. This allows it to take the mags for each gun. You can actually put a Glock 17 magazine in a Glock 26. It will stick out the bottom of the gun, but it will still fire. So it is nice knowing that you have a gun as a backup gun that doesn't require any other type of extra magazine. The second one I would recommend is a lightweight counterpart to your go to war duty bug out gun that takes the same round. So let's say you're somebody who carries a full size M9 Beretta or Beretta 92, and you want a backup to that. Some people want a very, very lightweight counterpart that takes the same round. So then you could have that big heavy gun and then have a Smith & Wesson shield to back it up. The other option out there is if you're into revolvers, you could have a 5-shot revolver, very lightweight ones made by Ruger, like the Ruger LCR revolvers. They'll actually be chambered in 9mm. And that way you don't even have to have a revolver round. You can just put the 9mm rounds, possibly even straight from that magazine, into that little revolver. In the number 3 spot is the biggest gun you can possibly carry as a backup. This is obviously animal defense minded. So I would recommend a huge backup to your primary carry gun if you're, say, bugging out or frequent areas with very large animals, or you just encounter some kind of situation where you want the biggest portable handheld caliber option available, where it could be practical for some reason. Let me know in the comments section what this could be besides a very large animal. But if you're going to go this route, the best thing I could recommend would be probably 357 Magnum and above. Maybe 44, and definitely 44, actually. Definitely 44 Magnum and above for certain bear country areas in Alaska. Now, in the number 4 spot would be a carbine rifle, civilianized thing that's really intended to be a submachine gun, or an AR-15 pistol, AK pistol that takes the same magazine as your primary handgun. So, like, these AR variant pistols are probably the first choice that I would think of. And then you got a lot of interesting looking ones by like Chris that'll take the Glock mags. So just something to throw it out there. Just having the ability to have a rifle, carbine, or AR style pistol that does take the same mags. That is cool, not having to have separate mags. Especially for the shorter barrel ones. And I will throw it out there. A lot of those shorter barrel AR-15 do better in general with a 9mm. And with that 5.56 round, from what I've found out, and argue with me in the comments section, they function at their best when they are probably at least 10 inches long. But when you're doing like a 9mm AR build as a backup to your Glock, let's say, because it takes Glock mags, from my understanding, they function better at a shorter barrel, more so than how a 5.56 functions at that shorter barrel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now in the number 5 spot is just having a duplicate of your primary. So just having two of the same, just in case something happens to the first one. I would like to give a special shout out to guns like the XD, where your backup could just be the primary gun with a shorter magazine in it. And you can do the same thing with Glocks, with subcompact Glocks. But they will sell a gun to where just by changing the magazine, it'll change the overall length of the grip. So you could just have the two of the same guns, but your backup just has that shorter magazine in it. And don't get confused. You can do the same thing with any other type of compact gun. All you got to do is just put a longer magazine in there and put some sort of grip extension. But I do think having just two could be at least an option, especially seeing that maybe your primary one's very, very tricked out. And if anything were to happen to break on that, you just have a backup one that's not as tricked out that you could just use as a parts gun to keep your primary one going. I hope you enjoyed listening to this top 5 backup gun list as much as I enjoyed doing it and talking into this cell phone and reading off this piece of paper with all the stuff on it. I had a blast doing this. So you should like and subscribe to help my efforts so that I don't feel like I'm wasting my time right now. Please do it. Thank you.